Then, Your Honor, I was very happy at that time. Me, this time directly, and told me there is yet another opportunity to invest. And he asked me if I had money. I said I did not, but if he tells me, I can look for the money. So this time round, he said the opportunity is around 5 million Kenya shillings. So the second round, Your Honor, again I gave 5 million shillings. I looked for, I didn't have it in cash, so I looked for my friends, my relatives, and my brothers. I told them in 6 months, I will pay you back double whatever amount you put, because it's a good business. And I have done it before. So, again, after 6 months, Your Honor, the accused person, true to his word, he gave me back 10 million shillings. And all these transactions were in cash, Your Honor. At no time did I suspect anything would go wrong, because, Your Honor, the accused person inspires you with confidence. When you go to his place, even now, you find big vehicles, Your Honor. His apartment is richly furnished. He has many servants who are watching over him. And they treat him like he's their king. So every time you go there, you will have no reason to think that your money has any risk. And given the history of returns, I was confident that it's okay. So, Your Honor, after I received the second time, I stayed a few months, and he called me again personally and told me that, my friend, we have another opportunity for you to invest. But don't bring in small monies like you've been bringing here, 500,000, 5 million. It is $1 million. You have to bring in $1 million. So, Your Honor, at that time, the exchange rate was 76. Your Honor, I believed that everything would be okay. So I started looking for that money. Your Honor, I sold properties that were in my name, sold shares that were in my name and my left wife's names. We had cars that had logbooks in our names. We went to the banks and, Your Honor, we took short-term loans over those logbooks. Your Honor, I had a home in Karen where my children were living, my family was living. a big home which had 7 bedrooms, Your Honor. And literally, Your Honor, by that time, as an advocate of the High Court, as a member of Parliament at the time, that was the biggest investment I had made. A house worth 70 million at the time. Your Honor, I went to make short-term mortgage arrangements. And I took that money, Your Honor, my house, the family house, because I believed. Your Honor, I lost everything. Why? Because after I borrowed from banks, I borrowed from friends, I borrowed from family, I sold everything I had, all the wealth I had accumulated at the time. And every time I sell, I convert into dollars and take to him. That man, Your Honor, that man, I used to take to that man. Little unknown to me, he was just laughing at me throughout, making a mockery out of my life, Your Honor. My life's savings. Your Honor, from owning a home, we went to rented premises. Without a car, without anything. And debts, because after 6 months, he was nowhere to be seen. That man disappeared from my life. My everything went down. All the years I'd done my work, they went down, Your Honor. And it was a bad time because my kids were all in private schools. It was a really bad time. We lost the elections at the time. And my practice as a lawyer had not been doing well because I was not there all the time. I was busy doing public work. So I went down, Your Honor. And that was not the end. Your Honor, lawsuits followed me. Lawsuits followed me. Some of them very famous because my friends were big people. Some of them decided to believe that I had been conned. So they left me. But others pursued me. They got judgments against me because we signed documents. Some of them, my friends, I had written checks, deposited checks, because I knew in 6 months we would get back $2 million. Your Honor, I never saw that money until that day when the television showed this man. Your Honor, my wife died later on. And throughout, from that time, we had problems in the house because she believed that I was misusing this money with other things. Believing that even the house in Karen, somebody went there and not her. As I chased my family and I put another woman there. That's what my wife believed. My wife went to that house. She refused to move from the house, even after the people came for their property, after we had sold it. Because she had this belief that there's no way I could not have sold it for anything. We lost everything, Your Honor, everything. So, Your Honor, I've come to lay my complaint before this court, Your Honor, that this court convicts this man because after his arrest, I went to him. I told him, I have no interest in you going to jail. All I want is you to return my money. I want my money back. I want my life back. I have family, I have children, you know, and I need to start my life because all my investment, you have it. That time the police had released him on police bail, and then he was taken to court, he was put in, then he was released on bail. So I told him I have no interest in following these matters, because there were many other complainants, as you see from the charge sheet. I told him I have no interest. Now let me tell you what happened. These people of media, some of them are seated here. They thought it's a nice story here to mock Mungatana, who has gone to Alliance High School. To mock Mungatana. He's not intelligent. You know, they started mocking the victim. And so I saw these people here in media. They thought they have a big story.
So, sorry, if I may take you back to your statement. You indicated that now when you are approached for the third time, when they accuse...
From anything, any proceed, I will take it to him, because he said that whatever you get, bring it. We can even stand for you on the other side of the investment. We will put our money, but you bring us, we wait. Then in 6 months' time, we will pay you double.
And how long did you take to furnish him or give him the full $1 million?
I can't exactly remember how long I took, but I know that it was like I became a slave for him. Your Honor, sell this, take. Borrow this, take. You know, sell the other, take. Go to agreements with people, get money, take. It became like I became like a slave to this common suspect. Where school fees is spending, things that when I go to him, even sometimes food in the house, I go to him, I tell him, I need to sort out my children. They don't care about me, but my children, these ones, they don't know any other life. They need to go to school. So some just come next week. I have just 100,000 today. So I go try to release pressures here and there. That next week becomes 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months. I have suffered under this gentleman. My bodyguard at the time to accompany me in some of these transactions. Even him as a faithful assistant to me, he would ask me, Mheshimiwa, are you sure what is... No, it's correct, because the first time we got the 500,000 we got back, the 5 million we got back. If I know that he will have time to come and say his piece, Your Honor, I feel so bad that at some point this court released this gentleman on bail. And I know it is right, but Your Honor, this is a foreigner. He's a person with no known source of income. He needs to tell how he feels, because all these people who are suffering, I'm the only person who has a big name here. The others are normal Kenyans. 1 million, 3 million, 5 million. How does he earn his living? He's a foreigner in this country. We tried to use asset recovery to trace so that I work. There was a time the court cancelled the bail because of failing to come to court. And then somehow his bail was released back. I think because of his lawyers or something, I don't know. And anyway, I know it is a constitutional right, but how do you balance the rights of victims with people like this? Because if we don't have a known form of income, what is he doing to survive? He needs to tell the court, what is he doing to survive? Because maybe he's creating other victims, and our country is continuing to suffer because of these foreigners who are doing this kind of thing in this country, and we are allowing it. Because he shouldn't be out on bond, Your Honor. What is he doing on a day? Does he have a work permit? Does he have? But they are not willing to come. I said I'll come and talk because maybe I'll save somebody else. I'll come and talk. Even if these media fellows, they think it's a story, so they make. In fact, I've sued one newspaper, you know, called the Nairobian, because they made a fool out of me. It's like I have been raped, and then they make a big joke out of it. And my lawyers, Apollo is following them up. And we've had a hearing date in court, raised up to that time. It's lost. The accused person has completely refused to pay, because if you go to his house, Your Honor, even now, if we go to his house, you will see this is a person who lives in an opulent manner. Don't see him there dressed like that. He lives in an opulent manner, Your Honor. He has cars, but they are never in his name. His things are never in his name. So even asset recovery cannot get that money. You know, Your Honor, and he continued living in this country. Your Honor, something needs to be done. And I pray, Your Honor, and I know other people will come to give evidence of what happened to them. It's a different story for every person. But for me, it was an investment scam. And I learned, because, you know, I'm from Tana, Your Honor, I wasn't born in Nairobi. I learned the hard way that Nairobi is hard. And we lost everything, and we had to begin again. Your Honor, my prayer is that this person be convicted. He needs to sit where the kind of people like him sit.
Perhaps I could take you back. When did this scam happen to you?
You know, all this was happening in the year 2011 to 20.